I gotta be honest, I was pretty worried going into this movie. In the days leading up to it, I'd seen a lot of pretty intense comments from a lot of critics, and I was really starting to wonder if I wasn't going to enjoy it. Thankfully, I absolutely loved it. It's a rollicking intergalactic adventure full of beloved characters and worlds that made me feel like a little kid. It's not perfect, and I'll get to the ways it could have been better, but it's definitely worth a watch if you're looking for 90 minutes of pure fun. Before I get started, this will be a spoiler-free review, and I am not touting any of my opinions as facts. This is just what I honestly thought in the movie, and I welcome other opinions in the comments. Just remember to show respect to everyone you interact with. And also, yes, I did get the Yoshi popcorn bucket. I love him so much. Now let's talk about this movie. First of all, the animation is breathtaking. Just like the first one, this movie brings the world of Mario to life with painstaking beauty. Say what you will about Illumination in general, they make amazing looking movies. And this is the perfect showcase of all they can do on the visual front. The different worlds are all so beautifully portrayed, especially the Comet Observatory. My jaw was on the floor for that one. All the characters look great, perhaps even a little bit more polished than the last movie. As for the characters themselves, it's great to see the old gang again, and the newcomers are awesome. Yoshi is played to absolute perfection by Donald Glover. He's happy-go-lucky and cheeky, just as Yoshi should be. He's gonna be a fan favorite for sure. Rosalina honestly isn't in nearly as many scenes as she should have been, but she is a sight to behold. She's beautifully animated, Brie Larson does a lovely job on her voice, and her relationship with the Loomis is absolutely adorable. Even if she is basically the Luigi of this movie, that hopefully means that she'll have a much bigger part to play in the next movie, because Luigi is given a lot more to do in this one. Bowser Jr. I thought would be a low point of the movie. I thought only someone like Nancy Cartwright could voice him, and Benny Safdie's voice would just be weird. But thankfully I was proven wrong. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he pairs perfectly with Jack Black's Bowser. I actually felt pretty bad for him as the movie went on, this impressionable, ambitious little kid who idolizes his disaster dad, and he became one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. As for that guy, you know, the guy that they announced a few days before the movie came out, yeah, he's a scene stealer. If by some miracle you don't know who I'm talking about, don't look it up. I happened to watch the movie with some friends who didn't know he was coming, and their reactions were absolutely priceless. One thing I wasn't expecting from this movie was the humor. The humor is a massive step up from the last movie. The first movie was kind of hit and miss with the jokes. You know, there were some that, you know, really made you laugh, but most of them were just so-so. This one is a full-on comedy. There's heaps of clever visual humor, there's great comedic timing. The whole audience was laughing themselves silly the whole time. It's not what I was expecting, but it really suited the franchise, and I hope that it's a mainstay. The music is great. Brian Tyler gives us another fantastic tribute to 40 years of iconic Mario soundtracks, ripe with Easter eggs and full of respect for the original composers. I have a feeling I'm going to be listening to it a lot while working. There also aren't nearly as many unnecessary pop songs, and the few that there are actually, in my opinion, kind of serve the scenes they're in. Let's just hope the next one won't have any. And of course, the references. If there's one thing we remember the first movie for, it's the hundreds of Easter eggs scattered across the whole runtime, and this movie proudly continues the tradition. I had such a fun time looking for references, as did the whole audience. There's something for every generation of Mario fans, so it was really special to hear everyone in the audience, from little kids who love Wonder to 50-year-olds who haven't played a game since the 80s, cheer whenever something popped up. In a lot of instances, it kind of fit in a lot of missed opportunities from the first movie, and there's one scene towards the end that was particularly clever. Now, before I continue, I just want to say that my intention with this review is not to say, oh, if you didn't like this movie, that just means you don't know how to have fun. That's really not what I think, and there are plenty of valid reasons not to like this movie. For one, the plot and pacing could have been much better. Similar to the first movie, it's everything else you come to see. There's a plot there out of necessity. Some things really don't make a lot of sense. There's a bit of plot convenience. And on top of that, it moves very fast, so there's a lot of worlds and characters, namely Rosalina, who don't get nearly as much dedicated time as they deserve. That being said, it certainly didn't ruin the movie for me. A few reviews I saw going into it said that they left the theater feeling emotionally empty. That seems a bit of an exaggeration. Firstly, because joy and excitement are valid emotions. Secondly, because, look, you're not going to cry at any point, but there are some sweet moments in there. Just don't go in expecting it to be emotionally comparable to the Galaxy games. And that is a little disappointing. This isn't really a spoiler, but if you really don't want to know anything about this movie going into it, block your ears. Nothing from Rosalina's storybook is in it. There is a storybook, but the story it tells is definitely separate from the game canon. It is a very cute story, but just don't go in expecting to hear Rosalina's classic origin story. So the plot and pacing are two things I'd like to see improved in the next Mario movie. Even if they just have to extend the runtime a little bit. I don't know why they feel like these movies have to be 90 minutes. I would have appreciated another 10 to 20 minutes to wrap things up a bit neater. There are some really sweet and wholesome themes that they touch on in this movie, like the power of family, and they would have been really moving if they'd just given a bit more time to them. They're not going to lose any money by making these movies a touch longer. And then the other big problem with it It's really not the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's a movie where Mario and friends go to space and Rosalina's there sometimes. Yes, there were some great callbacks to the games, but don't go in thinking that it's going to be closely following the plot or feel. This is a completely different story with many things changed. It's more of a celebration of all things Mario with a slight preference for Galaxy rather than a celebration of just Galaxy. It does make you wonder why they didn't just call it the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. Now don't get the wrong idea from this, I was beaming the entire time. It could have had a more cohesive plot and more to do with Galaxy, but it was one of the best theatre experiences I've had in a long time. The whole audience felt so connected. We laughed, we gasped, we pointed at the screen, and we all clapped at the end. It's an absolute blast that left me feeling really good long after it ended. It's sweet, fast-paced, and beautiful. You're not guaranteed to like it, especially if you're not a Mario or Nintendo fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you loved the first movie, I think you'll love this one too. Also, there's a mid-credits scene and a post-credits scene. Stick around for both. The post-credits scene had me, and the entire audience, but me especially, legitimately screaming. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry it came out a little late. I didn't really think it was appropriate thinking about Mario or Easter, so thank you so much for your patience. What did you think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie? I welcome your opinions, but please remember to be respectful. Please subscribe if you want to see more from this channel, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.